Did I scare you?
Okay, now I'll talk about the Caldera 5. The Caldera 5 is the latest iteration of the popular and highly evolved trail tank from Brooks Running. Since version 1, the Caldera has gotten bigger, thicker, and heavier, finding its place between Brooks' race-ready Catamount and thru-hiker-proven Cascadia. It'll give you plenty of moderate cushion, plenty of protection, and a muted package ready for whatever the trail has in store. Now, while I didn't review the 4th version, or even 3rd version for that matter, this is not far off from that previous model. The biggest change is an enhanced upper featuring some subtle overlay changes and a re-engineered lacing system. So in the end, the changes to the latest version aren't that dramatic, but that's not a bad thing. The new style of Caldera has been slow to grow on me, but here we are, 5 versions later, with the most thick boy version joining my trail arsenal as a comfortable, durable trainer perfect for long efforts. So while the new Brooks Caldera 5 continues to evolve, even slowly, the question is if it's finally finding its stride, pun intended, as a bigger, thicker trail tank. Can it compete against the other thicker, more cushioned trail shoes like the North Face Endurus or the Ultra Olympus? Hopefully we can find out in today's review. Let's get started.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Today, we're going to be talking all about the Brooks Caldera 5. I actually haven't reviewed a Caldera in quite a long time. I thought I did. I didn't. This is the latest version. Thought I would review it, because it's been a while. As always, before we dive into the review, I have to point out that the Caldera 5s were provided by Running Warehouse. I'm under no obligation to say anything about the shoes. I'm not financially compensated in any way. All opinions are my own. I can say whatever I want. And this video goes live whenever I want it to. No one has to see it beforehand. You're the first. Congrats. In all of my reviews, I like to talk about the things I like and dislike about a product. Today is no different. We're going to start with all the things that I like about the Brooks Caldera 5. The new upper. So this is where this shoe really differs from the previous version. It's a very subtle change, but it's a necessary one. I'm glad they did it. Right here through the midfoot, they have a new lacing system. It's going to get you a better midfoot fit. I noticed it almost immediately. Not that the 4 was a terrible fit, but I was finding myself really having to lock down the laces quite frequently, especially on technical trails or any time you're jumping between rocky or rooty surfaces. Having a better lockdown through the midfoot is a big get. The gusseted tongue, the new upper materials, the new welded overlays and the positions of those, you're getting a very durable upper, and it works quite well, especially up here in the Northwest when you're dealing with all sorts of conditions. So I'm a fan of the new upper. I think it's moving in the right direction. Nice job. Cushion. The Biomogo DNA midsole material from Brooks has always been decent. I think a lot of people like it. For the most part, it's used in a bunch of different Brooks shoes. Here, you're getting a big, fat, juicy layer of it. So what you end up getting is an experience in this shoe that's really similar to a lot of Hoka's that tend to be a bit denser, more responsive, while still maintaining that soft cushion. It doesn't need the carbon plate. It doesn't need that extra protection because the midsole does a really good job of that. So I'm a fan. And finally, durability. So this is something I noticed in the past couple versions of the Caldera. The 5 is no exception, and that's just that it's built tough. I mean, it's honestly built to go the distance, to last you a long time. You're gonna get plenty of miles out of it. You'll get hundreds of miles out of a pair of these Calderas, which is really nice to say. The outsole is holding up, the midsole isn't flattening out. The upper, again, very durable. The welded overlay, a little bit extra thickness and durability there as well. Overall, durability is through the roof on this. It's a nice evolution in the Caldera. That being said, it's not all Costco samples and jugs of Jelly Bellies. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Caldera 5. Let's get to those. Heavy. At right around 12 ounces in my size 11, the shoe is pretty chunky. It's certainly not the heaviest trail shoe that I've reviewed on the channel even recently, but the way that the weight feels in this shoe is really what gives it that sensation that it's too heavy. A lot of the weight is carried underneath here in the outsole, as well as the upper and the fabrics and the overlays. The midsole tends to be lighter. I know that they work really hard on their Biomogo DNA to be a light and cushioned midsole, but it's still a heavy, chunky shoe. You're not gonna get that nimble, very precision style fit, especially out of a shoe of this size. In that same vein is ground feel. This is something that I found I was getting in shoes like the North Face Endurus or the Ultra Olympus, especially over time, is that you get a lot more ground feel. You kind of have that presence with where you're running and the trail underneath your foot. This won't be a criteria that'll break it for a lot of you. When you're talking about a max cushion shoe that has 33 millimeters of stack, you almost assume that you're gonna lose ground feel. So it's a sensation that I was getting in other shoes sort of in this range, but was not getting in the Caldera 5. And finally, this is kind of an esoteric dislike, but just the heritage of the Caldera. I've mentioned this in the past. In essence, the Caldera 1 was one of my favorite sort of sleeper trail shoes. It worked really well in all sorts of conditions, race environments, long training days. And as the shoe has evolved in various versions, it's gotten thicker and bigger and heavier, more durable, more protective, but it's lost that love that I had with that first version. You know, all shoes evolve. The Caldera is certainly one that's evolved in a bit more extremes. I like where it's at. It's not where it was. I wish Brooks offered something similar to the Caldera 1, because it really was a brilliant trail shoe. Something with this upper, plenty of flexibility, cushioning, traction, decent upper, light, airy, fast. I miss it. So we'll see how the Caldera continues to evolve. I do enjoy it. I think it's a pretty good shoe. That's all. But that's it for dislikes. So in conclusion, for anyone looking for an absolute bomber of a trail shoe that is more protection than ground feel, that has plenty of cushioning while supplying a really accurate and decent fit through the midfoot and forefoot, limiting all sorts of negative movement while on the trail, this is a great option, and certainly one that you should take a look at. I, again, feel like its biggest competitors are going to be something like the North Face Vective Endurus or the Ultra Olympus, maybe even the Hoka One One Mafate Speed 3, which I will be reviewing here soon, all of which may feel more connected to the ground and give you plenty of grip and all that good stuff, but may not weather the storm quite as well. Again, pun intended. Let's get more specific. Talking about build quality. As I mentioned, the shoe's built really, really well. I think Brooks is doing a really great job of mixing multiple elements like a welded overlay, stretchy knit fabric, a lacing mechanism. All the materials are holding up quite well. I see this shoe lasting hundreds of miles and giving people plenty of durability in the long run. Comfort, it's great. It's going to be a denser, thicker material while still giving you a bit of give. So while comfortable underfoot, you will lose a bit of that ground feel, something to be aware of. Fit, the fit is better than the previous version. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I think they're doing a better job here through the midfoot. That's sort of my big gripe from the last version. Through the forefoot, as far as roominess, and for those who have a wider forefoot, it's going to be enough. It doesn't suffer the same problem as something like the North Face, where you're running into a bit more precision fit, or Ultra, where you do end up having too much volume. I think the Caldera finds that middle ground between those two options. Price, at 140 bucks, it's right there with the North Face Endurus, and that shoe I love. This shoe I also really like. Gonna be a tough call. I think the breaking point is the fact that the Caldera 4 is on sale for under 100 bucks. And that shoe is not far off from the Caldera 5. So it's certainly worth looking at. Again, I have links in the description that will take you over to Running Warehouse. You can check out the Caldera 4 and 5, see if it's in your size, if that is something that interests you. And finally, looks. I think this is a terrible color choice. The other choice that Running Warehouse offers, the gray, the blue, the goldish, I think that's a better looking option. I unfortunately got the one that has red and fluorescent yellow. It's just not quite there. Bringing us to our final criteria, is the Brooks Caldera 5 a buy, try, or a why? I'm heavily into the try category here. So if you have not tried any of the more recent Calderas, this is something I would certainly want you to slip on your foot, check it out, see if it works for you. If you remember the earlier Calderas, it's gonna feel quite a bit different than those. If you're looking for something super grippy, max cushion, plenty of protection and comfort in the upper, this is a really good option. So highly consider trying this out. And that is it for my review. Again, if you have questions, if you want more information, or you want to get a pair of the Caldera 5s for yourself, there are links in the description. They'll take you over to Running Warehouse. They are affiliate links. They cost you nothing. They do help the channel out, so consider it if you're looking to get a pair of shoes or any running gear whatsoever. My question now goes to you. Have you tried the Caldera 5 or any of the Brooks Caldera series? In the comments of this video, let me know. I'm super curious. Let's get that dialogue going on what you think about this shoe or the previous versions of the Caldera. And that is it for my review. If you liked it, make sure you like, favorite, subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/thegingerrunner. We're doing new videos, new live shows every single week. Make sure you click the notification bell. And of course, social media links you can follow across the board there. At the bottom is patreon.com/thegingerrunner. That's where we do all of our behind the scenes stuff. We do daily live streams. We talk about running, training, gear. We do more in-depth talks about the different gear that we review on the channel. We talk about films, upcoming music production, all that sort of stuff. Join us over there at Patreon. Lots of fun perks on the back end. And again, it supports the channel. It keeps our lights on, mics hot, all that good stuff. So that's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed today's review. Hope you're getting out there and training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.